Hello, everyone. Okay, we are up to test number 13. This is the test for lessons 61 through 65, and it's all about participles. And you know what? This whole section, and consequently this test, they're so crazy. I'm not really going to discuss anything here. I'm just going to go ahead and say the right answers and try to translate the sentences as much as I can. So the first one is Мальчик something в соседней квартире каждый вечер очень громко играет на саксофоне. So the boy in the neighbor's apartment or neighboring apartment every evening very loudly plays on the saxophone. So that is what's the right answer here? It is in fact живущий. Живущий. He is living. The boy who is living in the neighboring apartment plays the saxophone very loudly. Okay, next one. Мой коллега, something раньше в Москве, сейчас работает в Лондоне. So my colleague who previously was in Moscow now works in London. So this should be past tense, right? He worked previously in Moscow. That is работавший. Девушка something эту шубу заплатила за нее очень много. So the girl who we can see the verbs here are bought. So she bought a fur coat, right? Yeah, the girl. Yeah, shuba is a fur coat. So the girl who bought this fur coat paid very much for it. Really paid a lot for it. That is купившая, again, past tense, active past tense. She bought it actively in the past. Дом something в прошлом веке требует ремонта. So the house which was built in the last century needs repairs. So the correct answer here is построенный. Past tense, passive. So passive past tense. The house was built in the past century. Okay, человек над своими словами всегда кажется умнее. So the person who right, okay, so the verbs here are think. So a person who thinks about their own words always кажется, appears or seems умнее, smarter. So a person who thinks about their words always seems smarter. Not necessarily is smarter, but they seem smarter because they think about their words. So this is думающий. It's present active. The person is actively, presently thinking about. So a person who is thinking about their thoughts or about their words always seems smarter. Okay. Человек something только плохой, у других сам плохой. So the person who says only bad things about others is himself or herself bad, a bad person. That is говорящий. Again, it's present active. The person who is always saying bad things about others is themselves a bad person. Он something муж, хороший отец, прекрасный человек. So he is a so he's a loving husband, a good father, and a beautiful person. Okay, so the again, this is active present. It's present tense. He is a loving husband. So любящий муж, loving. He is a loving husband. Okay, клиент something несколько минут назад ждет вас в кабинете. So the client. So несколько минут назад, a few minutes ago. So that's obviously past tense. Ждет вас в кабинете. So is waiting for you in the office. So past tense arrived a few minutes ago. That is пришедший. Yes, пришедший. Client arrived a few minutes ago. Окей, интересно, как чувствует себя человек, something 5 литров пива. So, interesting, how feels themselves a person, or how does a person feel? And then the verbs here are drink 5 liters of beer. So I wonder, it's interesting, how does a person feel who drank 5 liters of beer? So this is past tense. The person drank 5 liters of beer. So and they drank it all up. So it's not something like piot because piot is still drinking. They drank it all up. So they vypiot. They drank it all up. So it's actually vypivshi, person who drank up 5 liters of beer. Okay, архитектор, something, это здание был гением. So the architect who did something with this building was a genius. So obviously past tense. This is построивший. Again, that's yeah, I guess they finished building the building. So the architect who built this building was a genius. Although technically architects don't build buildings, they design buildings. But okay. Moving on. Это очень популярный и something brand. So it's a very popular and, from the verbs here, looks like famous or known brand. Very known brand. So very famous and узнаваемый бренд. Again, like recognized brand, but this is passive tense because the brand is not recognizing anything. The brand is being recognized. So passive tense or passive voice. Okay, спортсмен, something раньше в той команде, сейчас работает тренером. So the sportsman or the the athlete who previously played in this team now works as a trainer or as a coach. So obviously раньше is past tense. So again, we have something in the past tense. This is I believe it's игравший, right? Athlete who worked previously in this team now works as a trainer. Okay. Мужчина, something нам вчера вечером был мне знаком. Okay, so the man who met us last night was known to me. So I knew him. I knew the man whom we met last night. Obviously, again, this is past tense. He met us last night. So what's the past tense? What's the right past tense form here? I believe it's this. Встретившийся. No, встретившийся. Yeah, I believe that's correct. The man who did meet us last night was known to me. Okay, женщина something сейчас из магазина тяжелые сумки, по-моему, очень устала. So the woman, I guess, yeah, these are verbs these are verbs to carry. I believe it also means to wear clothes, but in this case, it's like tragen in German. It means both wear clothes, like wear something, and also carry. But in this case, it's carry. So she's carrying now from the store heavy bags. По-моему, as far as I'm concerned, or in my opinion, очень устала, very tired. So the woman carrying heavy bags from the store is very tired, in my opinion. And this is, again, active present tense. It is несущая. Okay, something раньше в одном классе друзья встречаются каждый год. So the so this is учившийся. The studied. Yeah, it's a bit confusing because the subject of the sentence is actually here, but the friends who previously studied in one class Встреча каждый год, meet every year. So the friends who used to study in one class together now meet every year. Okay. Something в деревне он трудно привыкал к шумной городской жизни. So let's see. This is okay. This is also past tense, right? Yeah, I think this is past tense. So it's выросший. So the text says basically growing up in the countryside or having grown up in the countryside. He had a hard time managing the loud or noisy city life. Yeah, so he grew up in the village or in the countryside, and it was difficult for him to get used to the loud city life. Okay. Начальнику понравилась работа something нами. So, let's see. Начальнику is the boss, like the manager at work. Понравилась работа. Okay, so the work pleased the boss. The boss liked the work, which was done by us. This is сделанная, because it was completed, so it's not делая, but сделая, because it was completed, the work was finished by us. So yeah, сделанная, the boss was pleased by the work, which was done by us. Obviously passive tense, because the work didn't do itself, the work was done. So the work was, in that sense, the work is passive, because the work was done by somebody, the work didn't do itself. Текст something студентам перед экзаменом очень трудный. So the text, which was reviewed by the student, I guess, before the exam, is very difficult. It's повторяемый, isn't it? Yeah, повторяемый. Text which was reviewed by the student before the exam, very difficult. Актер сегодня something в этом спектакле никому не известен. So the actor who this is okay, so this is I guess this is kind of future tense. So it says the actor who's playing in the show today is not known to anyone. Nobody is known, so he's not known to anyone. I guess this is kind of future tense because it's kind of like in English. You'd say the actor who is playing in the show today, but that could be future tense. It doesn't necessarily mean that he's playing right now. It could be that he's playing later today, and then you say he is playing, even though he's not playing in the second. It's actually kind of future tense conjugated as present tense. So he may be playing right now, or maybe that he's doing it later today. It doesn't matter. It's not really important to the conjugation here. Anyway, but it is conjugated as present tense, and so the answer is играющий. Present active tense. Actor is playing in the spectacle, but is not known to anyone. Okay, something ей доклад лежал на рабочем столе. So the verbs there are forms of forgot or forget. So доклад is report. So, okay, I see. So I believe... Yeah, and ye is like the instrumental form of she, of a female person. So I think the point is the report which was forgotten by her, the report by her forgotten, lay on the work table or on the work desk. So this is passive past tense. The report was forgotten by her, the forgotten by her report. So the past passive here is забытый. Забытый. Yes, забытый ей доклад лежал на рабочем столе. Okay, moving on. Девушка something нам дверь была очень красивой. Oh, the girl who... the verbs here are open. So the girl who opened us the door was very beautiful. Okay, so obviously she opened the door actively. So this is Um, past past active. She actively opened the door, but she did it in the past. So it's открывшая. There we go. Меня удивляет этот мальчик. Something войну и мир в парке. So, I am surprised. I guess I'm surprised. Or surprising to me is this boy who is reading War and Peace in the Park. I guess it's not usual that young boys read War and Peace in the park. They're probably reading who knows what, some social media or whatever on their phones. But okay, so I'm surprised at this boy reading War and Peace in the park. So this is, I guess, yeah, it's present active, isn't it? Yeah, it's in the present tense. The boy is presently reading War and Peace. So it's читающий. Мальчик, читающий «Войну и мир» в парке. Он уже забыл материал something ранее. He already forgot the material. Okay, so learned earlier. He already forgot the material learned earlier. This is obviously then past tense and passive. The material didn't learn anything. The material was learned. So it's изученный. Изученный. Он уже забыл материал изученный ранее. He already forgot the material which was previously studied, or which was studied previously. Okay, папой телевизор сломался через месяц. So, papa, or father, television. Oh, I see. Papa is the instrument here. So the television. Okay, and these are by. Okay, so the through-bought father television broke after a month. So the television which the television which dad bought broke in a month. But the word order here is bought through father television broke after a month. Okay, so this is obviously, again, this is passive tense. The television didn't buy anything. The television was bought. So passive voice and past tense because it was bought by father previously. So it's куплений. Yeah, I believe that is correct. Он шел по улице something о завтрашней встрече. So he walked along the street thinking about завтрашний, tomorrow, an adjective meaning occurring tomorrow. Завтра is tomorrow. Завтрашний is basically something that occurs tomorrow, and встреча is meeting. So he walked along the street thinking about tomorrow's meeting. Okay, got it. So so he was obviously actively thinking. This is active voice, but past tense because we have here on шел. He walked, past tense. So active past tense here is думая. Он думая о завтрашней встрече. Okay, next one. Something, что брату трудно понять чемодан, Иван помог ему. Vidya or смотря, so looking or seeing. Okay, seeing that for the brother it was difficult to carry the suitcase, Ivan helped him. So, seeing that it was difficult, okay, so, but this is past tense, right? Yeah, so Ivan saw it, so he actively saw, it's active voice, but past tense. So it's Vidya. Vidya, что брату трудно понять чемодан, Иван помог ему. Good. Он переходил с работы на работу, something ее каждая погода. He переходил, like he transferred с работы на работу. So from work to work, or I guess from job to job. Okay, and this here is like to switch or change something. So he changed his job Каждые полгода, every half year or every 6 months. So what is this? This is I guess, yeah, so this is active voice because he was doing it actively, but it's in the past, so it's active past. So it's меняя. So он переходил с работы на работу, меняя ее каждые полгода. Okay. Number 28. Something из дома, не забывайте включать свет. So, when leaving the house, do not forget to turn off the light. And this is, I guess, I'm actually not sure. Is this present tense? I mean, it's kind of present tense because it says when leaving the house. But I think that might be an error. I think that might be mistakenly conflating English grammatical constructs with Russian. I believe the correct answer here is выходя. So that's the right answer here. But I'm not sure I'm actually not sure if that's supposed to be. That's probably. Oh no! It's adverbial, of course. Duh! It's an adverbial particle. Выходя из дома. This is the adverbial form that we learned in lesson 65. Leaving the house, comma. Do not forget to turn off the light. So when do you not forget to turn off the light? When leaving the house. That's the adverbial form. Okay. Got it. Okay, these are adverbial constructs here. Okay, 29. Something все, что хотела, она замолчала. So, она is the subject here, so she. So, okay, so saying everything that she wanted, she fell silent. I think that's a contradiction in terms, isn't it? You can't say everything you want but be silent. I think the point is she had said everything. So having said everything that she wanted to say, comma, she fell silent. Okay. So this is once again an adverbial form. This is basically the main clause is she fell silent, but when and how did she fall silent? After having said everything she wanted to say. So adverbial form сказав. Сказав все, что хотела, она замолчала. Okay. Moving on. Немного something он пошел обедать. So, okay, and the verbs here are work. So, a little work, or having worked a little bit, he went to dinner, or maybe to lunch. Either one. Okay, so what's the right answer here? This is поработав. Yeah, поработав. So having worked a little bit, comma, he went to lunch. So again, adverbial form, I believe. Каждый раз something со своими друзьями он очень радовался. So every time, and these verbs here are meet or meet up. So every time he meets up with his friends, he is very happy. Or actually, no, past tense. Радовался. Okay, got it. So this is past. Okay, so active past tense. Every time he met up with his friends. Oh, but it's probably adverbial again. Yeah, so the correct answer here is встречаясь. Yeah, so every time he met with his friends, he was very happy. Okay, good for him. Вчера случайно something на улице с старым другом, Карл не узнал его. Aha, okay, so yesterday, yeah, so it's meeting again. So yesterday meeting on the street with old friend, Carl did not recognize him. So, what's the answer here? It's встретившись. Yeah, встретившись. So, I think случайно means like coincidentally or by chance. So yesterday, coincidentally meeting on the street an old friend, or outside actually. No, it doesn't necessarily mean on the street, it means outside. So yesterday, coincidentally meeting an old friend outside, Carl didn't recognize him. Okay, good enough. or good enough for me at least. Okay, something искусством он приехал в Италию. Oh. Okay, so interested in art, he drove to Italy. Okay, so so again, this is an adverbial form here. Being interested in art, comma, he drove to Italy. So what are we looking for here? We are looking for interesujas. Right? Yeah, this one. Okay. Being interested in art, comma, he went to Italy. Also an adverbial form. Okay. В детстве всей душой something японские мультфильмы она начала изучать японский. Boy. В детстве все душ. So, в детстве, in childhood, все душой, with all the soul, and then the verbs here are loving. Loving Japanese multfilme, cartoons, actually. She began studying Japanese. This is actually something I commonly hear. People really like Japanese anime cartoons and they start studying the Japanese language because they want to understand anime so much. So, okay. So, в детстве все душой, obviously this is past tense because it's something she did in her childhood. So it's polubiev here. I believe this is actually a perfective form because it's kind of like saying she fell in love, not just saying loving Japanese anime, but having fallen in love with Japanese anime. So I think that's a perfective form. I'm not sure. Okay, but anyway, yeah. So as a child, having fallen in love with Japanese anime with all her soul, she began to study Japanese, the Japanese language. Okay, and last one, something грамматику не надо забывать о лексике. So, and the verbs here are studying. So studying grammar, you don't need to forget about lexicon or about vocabulary, which is always good advice, actually. This is something I often hear, especially with regard to Russian, because Russian grammar is very complex. I actually just heard a native Russian speaker say this the other day, even though I've heard it before. Bald and Bankrupt advised this in one of his videos, and I've heard other people advise this as well. Russian grammar is very complicated, and it's good to study grammar, but really your key thing here when studying a language, especially when studying a very complex language, or a language with a very complex grammar like Russian, your main thing here is to get a handle on the vocabulary. Learn more words. Don't worry too terribly much about the grammar. So anyway, so I got a bit distracted there, but the correct word here is izuchaya. There we go. And those were all the right answers. So yeah. So when studying grammar, comma, so again, adverbial form, studying grammar, comma, you don't need to, I might be mistranslating this. I mean, не надо usually means you don't have to. You don't have to forget about vocabulary, but I think this might be more like you should not forget about vocabulary. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at my results, and I will just quickly page through these for anyone who wants to review the answers. All right, there we go. That was it. That was test 13. Thanks for watching, everyone. Hope I'll see you next time for lesson 66, isn't it? I believe so, yeah. All right, see you all folks then. Until then, thanks for watching, and пока-пока.